So never do today what you can pull off till next week. Quoted by a student, right? So I'm sure that many of us growing up were taught to do things the second that they were told you to do, or whatever, or to not put things off, or to pretty much not procrastinate. However, I feel that this quote tells us the complete opposite. Am I right? Am I wrong? I personally live by this quote. I mean, I am a person who just kind of lives in the moment, I guess. I really do agree with it. Like Richard mentioned earlier this year, YOLO, you live by that, right? You only live once. And I think that quote kind of exemplifies that in many ways. It kind of encourages us to keep in mind that, we only have one life, and, we only have, for all we know, a couple seconds left to live. And to kind of really just embrace things and cherish every moment that you're in. Let's see. Growing up, I watched my mom just completely consume herself in work and, not really have too much time for us. And I grew up with the same mentality to do things right away, to not waste a single second of precious work time. But, as I've gotten older and as my mom's gotten older, we both just kind of accustomed ourselves to that quote and to that belief that, put things off and, enjoy the moment you're in and enjoy the seconds that you do have, with you, and enjoy the present. And I'm sure that it's something that many of you also live by. Yeah. Well, that's it.
All right, well, when you start with the topic, I think that limits your creativity and your ability to draw us in. The topic, however, you do have a point of view on it, and ultimately you do suggest what your thesis is. There's no planning of what the content is going to be, and once you get onto that, it just seems to be random ideas that come up talking about that particular subject. And sometimes the ideas work, sometimes they don't. A lot of times you don't have any place to go with them, and they often sound repetitive, which is why you need to plan a structure a little bit more than I think you were able to do in this particular presentation. Your voice tends to drop out sometimes whenever you're uncertain at the end of sentences. You can kind of hear your voice dropping down, like, well, and it's obvious that you're kind of giving up on that idea in that situation. Occasionally you get stuck for an idea and your pacing is a little bit off. It only happens a couple of times, but it was noticeable. Most of your anxiety seems to be coming out in your hands and your body movement. You start off with your hands on your hip at one point, and then you just aren't quite sure where you're supposed to be putting them and how you're supposed to be speaking to us, and your body moving, you keep turning to the side like you're looking at something over on the desk, and I don't know what's over on the desk, but it's not helping you any, and it does seem like it's a bit of a distraction. I think your eye contact is pretty good. Your facial expressions, you're usually smiling, but sometimes the smiling is one of those indications of a pained expression, like I can't think of the next thing to say, so let me smile a little bit here, and that gets you through. You bail out at the end, you basically say, well, that's it, and we get the Porky Pig exit line, and that's never an enthusiastic way to finish the speech. All right, thank you.